So a month ago, we hushed our kitchen, and it was so powerful to pull everything out and to reset it. So today we're gonna hush another room in our house. We're gonna hush our boys' bedroom. This room it's just always been so hard to stay on top of. We need a fresh start. So we're gonna pull everything out. I'm gonna get the boys started on we're literally just taking every single thing out. I'll explain to you exactly what this process is and how it works, and it is gonna feel so good. Okay, so this concept of hushing your house comes from McQuillan Smith. She is the author of the new book, House Rules, which is so good. I highly recommend it, and knows that sometimes we just need different tactics to switch it up, to declutter our house, and to just get a fresh start, to be able to like push the reset button. So many of us need that. So that's what we get to do when we hush our house. So step number one is to pull every single thing out that you can. You leave the furniture and the big stuff, but all the little stuff, it all has to go. So we are gonna get busy pulling everything out. It's not a big room, there's not actually. It looks really messy. It's not gonna take long, I don't think. And then step number two, you let it sit for at least 24 hours with nothing in here. Just experience the peace of it. And then step number three is you very strategically just put back a few things, a handful of things. But we'll talk about why it's so much easier when you go to do that and how you don't even end up missing like hardly any of this stuff. So let's get busy and get everything out of this room. Okay, so this bedroom, if you've been hanging out with us for a while, it was a few years ago that we redid it. It's small. There was just no perfect solution for how to have the beds in here and still have like a little bit of space to play. So we decided to loft the beds so the boys could have their clothing bins underneath and a little bit of toy storage. Not all of their toys stay in here. They have some stuff downstairs as well. And it's worked fine. The problem is it's small. So even when a little bit of extra stuff accumulates in here, it feels messy. It feels trashed. And I don't even like showing this room because it's just like, I don't know. It's like, why can't they keep it clean? You know? So anyways, it is what it is, and I understand how kids' bedrooms get messy so quick, especially when we have one who is really neat and one who is the ultimate treasure collector. And a little bit later, I can talk about treasure bins and how we've worked with Gage to manage his treasures. He sees everything, a candy wrapper, a painted rock, a thing from the dollar store, the other kids' stuff. He collects all the other kids' stuff too. It's so much. So we can talk about that, how to manage that. So anyways, if you're thinking like, that's not really an ideal kids' room setup, it's not. And it is what it is. And it's messy. But every once in a while, we go through it. So I gave each of the boys a bin for them to put their toys and treasures into. I have a black trash bag. I grabbed a basket to put all the clothes into. And so we're just gonna gather it all up and get it out of here. I was actually really surprised as we were going that Gage didn't even fill up one full bin of stuff from his side of the room, and Corbin's was just full. I didn't know if 2 bins would be enough. So again, there's not actually that much stuff in here, and even the trash bag is probably only about half full. And yes, I was sneaking some stuff in there. We know our kids, and it's our job to keep the peace in our home, which means we can't keep everything. So I know the things that can just get tossed, but I was trying to be respectful, and anything that I thought he might be attached to was going into the bin. I'm going to talk later what we're going to do with all the stuff in those bins, because there's more in there than I want to come back in the room. But anyways, we're getting everything cleared out. It feels so good. So let's see, here's where we're at right now. Did you guys think it was funny to stack it up as high as you could? Yeah. Wow, it's taller than you. That's pretty impressive. So I strategically planned this though so that they could help me pack everything up so they know what's in here. And again, if you have a lot more stuff, I would recommend having like donation boxes, definitely black trash bags. And it's okay to decide to like declutter stuff as you're going through this process, totally acceptable. But I timed it then, so now my mom is on her way to get them, and they're gonna go do some homeschool stuff at her house. So now I get a little more time in here. So my goal for tonight, because again, you want to let it sit now for 24 hours. So my goal for tonight is just to have their new bedding on, and then that's it. And today's video is sponsored by Helix Sleep, and now is the perfect time to upgrade your mattress because their Memorial Day sale is going on. And here's how it works. You can save 30% off an Elite or a Luxe mattress and get 2 free pillows, or save 25% off their entire site. And I've told you before, but we have upgraded all of the mattresses in our home. So whether you need the Helix Kids mattresses like the boys have here, or you need to upgrade your mattress, it's never been cheaper. And of course, it's still super easy. Helix Sleep are premium mattresses that come rolled up in a box and conveniently delivered to your door. But they're premium, they're awesome. You sleep so well on them. In fact, we have upgraded every single mattress in our house. And these are Helix Kids mattresses. My grandma sleeps on a Helix, my parents sleep on a Helix. So what you do is you go online and you take the Helix Sleep Quiz. And you're just gonna answer a handful of questions for you, and if you sleep with someone else, they answer too. Or you fill it out for them, which I might have done for Tom, but it's okay. So do you like it a little more on the soft side where you just snuggle in? Do you like it a little more firm? Tom and I just like a hair firm, not too firm, right? A little bit firm. So you answer their questions and then they match you with your perfect Helix mattress. For us, it's the Helix Dusk Luxe. And so like I said, 3 years ago already, it came conveniently delivered to our door. Shipping is free in the US. It comes to your door, you unroll it, you watch it take shape. It's so easy. And that same night, you can be sleeping on it and getting a really great night's sleep. And then because of their sleep guarantee, you get 100 nights to test it out. So this is like low pressure, low stress, right? Beyond that, you also get a 10-year warranty and you're gonna sleep great knowing that it is completely fiberglass free and their mattresses are assembled right at their factory in Arizona. So again, to take advantage of the Memorial Day sale, visit helixsleep.com/minimalmom and you're gonna save 30% off an Elite or a Luxe mattress plus 2 free pillows, or take 25% off site-wide. But it's only during their Memorial Day sale, running now for a limited time. Okay, so you can't really see how dirty the walls are until you get up close. I was tempted to just put the pillow in front of it and forget about it, but we won't do that. So I'm gonna clean these walls a little bit. Okay, so I definitely wanted to get the room back to a point where they could sleep here tonight, right? So we accomplished that. Everything's out. They're still gone. So I want to do a little bit of cleaning and then we're just going to let the room sit for 24 hours, let them experience it this way. I imagine the first thing they'll do is come up here and just start playing. Like they'll bring one Lego thing or a game or something from downstairs and they'll just start playing because that's always what happens, right? When we clean their rooms. Also, it is like really raining right now outside, so if you hear that, that's what's going on. So let's do a little bit of cleaning. We'll let the room rest and then we'll talk about my strategy for bringing stuff in, because now that it's out, I definitely do not want all of that other stuff to come back in here again. And so the reason I think this method of decluttering is so powerful is because we have to get removed from our stuff. We have to feel what it feels like it again for it not to be so cluttered and not to have stuff everywhere. And a little while ago, I shared about our missions trip to Mexico. That was a great way to get removed from our stuff. And we came back thinking like, I don't want any of it. Get rid of all the stuff. Or I've noticed the same thing when we go camping too. We go camping for a long weekend or a week. We live with very little. And I'm like, this is awesome. You would think it's limiting and that you're roughing it going without, but you realize there's so much freedom in just having very few things to manage and maintain. And so the same thing happens when we hush a room in our house. We pull everything out. We're like, oh yeah, like, it's still a small room, but it feels so much better in here, and there's room to play and to live and to imagine and to create in here again. And it's more peaceful. And again, I know you've experienced that anytime you've cleaned your child's room or your craft room or another space. And I often say that kids aren't good at managing inventory, so we can't overwhelm them with so much stuff. But the truth is, as adults, we're not actually that good at managing inventory either. We all thrive and we enjoy our things more when we are in simplified spaces. So whether it's your kitchen or your craft supplies, I think you're probably finding too that you enjoy those things more when you have much less stuff to manage and much more room to work and to move in. Okay, so now we have all the other stuff to deal with. This is where I get a Diet Coke and I'm like, okay, we can do this, right? So like anytime you're feeling low energy, I'm just telling myself, I'm just gonna sort and just kind of straighten all this up. I don't have to make any tough decisions right now. That doesn't matter. So we'll just make it look a little neater and nicer and make it easier then for the next step when we do start putting it back in their room. Okay, so I do want to keep these chairs. They still like them a lot. They're just from Walmart and they're holding their shape pretty good and everything. And then they don't have like a ton of stuffed animals or squishmallows, so I'm okay with the current quantity of those as well. So that can stay. And then all of these storage containers were in there, and things that will hold things, right? So I don't want to have any extra containers in there because they just fill up with random stuff. these ones were in their little cubbies, so these can go back in, and we'll use these for some of the treasures that they want to keep. So those I'm going to keep handy. And then the rest of these, I have a spot in the basement where I keep containers for a little bit just to see if I want to use them like somewhere else. So these I'm going to put down in the basement. I'm going to take them there now so I don't have to think about it anymore. And I'll just hang on to them for a little while, but I do not want them going back upstairs to their bedroom. And then their comforters are so dirty. So I had made these back when we originally did their room. I took two and I cut them in half and I sewed them together so we could have like 2 matching comforters. They're super cute. I really liked how it looked, but up close, they are so dirty. I'm not sure if you can tell. It's just so dirty. And I've laundry stripped them, I've washed them. We're kind of beyond the point. So a good thing for these now, I think, would be to go to an animal shelter. And I have some other stuff I've been saving up for something like that. So I think that is the destiny of these. Actually, Gage never liked that I cut the comforters in half. He wanted to keep the blue one. He wanted him to have the blue one and Corbin to have the plaid one. So literally for like the last 3 years, he wanted me to cut them back apart again and sew it back together just to be one solid blue blanket. So I finally asked him, like, is it okay if we let these go, but I have a new one for you, right? So he was okay with that. But I get it. If you have children that are like super attached and sentimental to things, I understand. And like I said, we'll still talk about the treasure bins and stuff too. And then Gage likes to like nest in around his bed. So he always has extra blankets and pillows and stuff. He's probably still gonna want to do that. So we probably need to hang on to this stuff. So it just kind of is what it is. And then, let's see. So this is Gage's bin. There's more garbage. And then we have all the clothing. So I didn't show you where we move their clothing bins to. I'll show you when we put them back. But I think what we're gonna do is bring their bins back downstairs, get them everything switched out for summer, since, yay, finally Minnesota. Since now here in Minnesota, we can do that, right? So I think we'll bring down their bins and then we'll go through their clothing together. There's probably some dirty stuff in there. We'll get everything swapped out for summer, have their bins all set, and that will feel really good because this is obviously more clothing than they're actually wearing. Okay, now this is the point though, right, where we start to get a little nervous, whether you're doing your own space and you've pulled everything out, or your children's stuff that like, there's the possibility it could just stay like this forever, right? That we box stuff up and then we never actually come back to it. So I fully understand that. And that's why I do want to make a pass through it quickly, right away, and then also with them. So Gage is 9 and Corbin is 11. So absolutely they get a say in what they keep, what goes in their room. I do some decluttering without them, but again, it's stuff that I know is clearly garbage, they've fully lost interest in, or they don't have, that has no value to them, okay? I have no problem donating or decluttering those things. Every once in a while I've made a mistake, but I have good equity with them. I make it up and we're okay. And as I'm going through this, I'm reminding myself that kids thrive in highly simplified spaces. They don't need lots of toys or craft supplies or gadgets or craft kits or robot kits or things to be creative. In fact, if you give kids the bare minimum, that is when you will see their creativity come alive. And we've definitely seen that over the years. And so I know our kids and they really do well with very little inventory to manage. So I'm just trying to get rid of as much as possible. Also remembering that there's always more stuff coming in, right? I mean, we try to keep very little coming in and there's still always more stuff coming in, right? So anytime we declutter and minimize, we wanna make sure there's room to grow, for more stuff to come in as well. Okay, so here is stuff that is, this side is garbage and this side is stuff that like does not have to be in there. Painter's tape, hydrocortisone cream, like this stuff can just get put away elsewhere. This stuff can go in the garbage, and then otherwise looks like it's in pretty good shape. Oh man, I'm like getting sweaty. This rain is bringing humidity too, it's awesome. So in Gage's bin, there's some garbage I'm throwing away, but also he had a lot of toys that don't belong in there, like blocks and Duplos, and dominoes. So these, we have a bin each for blocks and Duplos. So I want to get those put back where they go, get the dominoes all back together so they can go where they go with our games. Otherwise, he actually has less stuff in there than Corbin does. I'm shocked, but don't worry. He has his treasure bins and everything too. So this is by no means all of his inventory and treasures. So he's still in good shape. And so I decided to go through the boys' stuff with them during one of our live decluttering sessions in our mentorship group. So here's what that process looked like. We pulled it all out on, today's Friday, Wednesday, maybe? Tuesday? It's been a few days. And so again, this idea of hushing your house comes from McQuillan Smith. And she recommends that if you do this in a space, and I did it in our kitchen like a month ago, that you pull everything out that you can, you leave like the big furniture, and then you let it sit for at least 24 hours. And what's really interesting is that initially when you look at the space, you're like, oh no, it looks like we're robbed or we're poor or like we're moving. Like it does not feel right. You're just like, well, this is sterile and like who wants to live like this? But then what happens after about 5 minutes of that, you're like, it's just so peaceful and open and spacious and there's possibilities. And man, I probably wouldn't mind cooking as much if my kitchen were like this all the time and it'd be a breeze to clean up, right? And so then you kind of get into it and you're like, this is actually really awesome. So then when it comes time to put this stuff back in, you're very protective of the serenity that you've created in there and you don't want to just go and put everything back in. I actually asked them last night, I was like, hey, what do you think of your room like this with everything out? And hey, buddy, what did you think of your bedroom having everything out of it? It felt really nice. Yeah. What I was hoping we could do now is both Corbin and Gage each had a bin that they put their stuff in there. There wasn't actually that much stuff in your room, right? I was surprised that it was only a bin each. So could we go through your bin quick and decide what things you want to put back in? And then maybe there's some stuff that wouldn't have to go back in. Okay. Oh, so these are all of your like magazines and car books that you have. Do you want to go through these at all, or you just think you want to keep all these?
I want to keep all these.
You want to keep all these? It's not actually that many, is it? So I think that's good. Oh, actually, your canvas is in here too.
Yep.
This guy, do you want to hang this up or just like put it in your memory bin or? Memory bin? Okay, you're okay not having that hung up right now? Okay, got it. Okay, so these are the books and magazines we're gonna put back in your room. I think that's reasonable. Do you wanna go run them up quick? Should we just put them in one of the cubbies?
Yeah.
We'll just have one of your cubbies be for books, then we won't put a bin back in it. Okay, awesome, thank you. So now these are the bins that were in your cubbies in there. So you have like a lot of, it's not like overflowing, you just have a lot of little stuff. Do you think, I'm trying to see kind of what kind of themes we have. I mean, even this one is not really, they're not super full. That's Gage's? Okay. Probably the ball doesn't need to be in there. But that other stuff is probably stuff you use. So I'm fine with that. We might decide to put some of this other stuff in them too.
Yeah.
Do you think like this kind of thing was fun to make, but do you play with this anymore?
Nope.
Okay, should we let that go? Oh, I have a black trash bag. Here you go. So you want to put that in there. We have to not let Gage see this stuff because he'll dumpster dive to get it back out. Okay. Seashell?
Keep them.
That's actually a cool shell. Okay.
Yeah.
So these are some of your little motors and stuff. So that will keep. Little skateboard? Keep. Okay. Painted rock?
That can go.
Oh, there's Gage. Hi. We'll go through yours in a minute, okay? We're not getting rid of any of your stuff. Again, there's not a ton of stuff in here, but if we can get rid of any of it, there is like some garbage and stuff.
Yeah.
Do you know what these stickers are for anymore?
They're for all my Lego sets.
Do you want, they can go? Okay. And then I'm getting rid of Nerf bullets. We're not doing Nerf guns anymore, okay? Okay. Does this headlamp still work?
Yes, but it's missing the back cover, so that can get thrown away.
Okay. All right. Well, I think we're doing pretty good then. Good job. Okay, cool. That was our warm up. Now we gotta see if we can get Gage to be as reasonable. There's really only 3 cubbies? Wow. All right. Thank you. All right, buddy. So how have you liked having your room more empty and not so much stuff in it? You didn't really like it, or you like it? You like it? Okay. You don't have to say you like it. Do you miss some of your stuff in there, though? Are you kind of looking forward to putting some of it back? Yeah, that's cool. Okay. So this is your bin. We're just going to put it up here so we can go through it quick. Him we want to keep, right? He's super cute. No problem. You guys don't actually have many stuffed animals. Do you want to keep hats in your room or in the closet?
In the closet.
In the closet? Okay. We have some other stuff here to go in the closet. Okay, so we have these 3 guys. You want to keep them all? Okay. Sounds good. We can do that. Your bag from theater, do you want to keep that? Yep. So we have these 3 bins here. We actually emptied them out as we were going. And Gage, you don't actually have like a ton of stuff in here to put back, right? So that shouldn't be hard. So I think most of this stuff you can keep and it'll fit just fine. Let's just try to kind of sort it into categories. Yeah, that's not yours, right? That doesn't need to be in there. This we'll put in your memory box. Well, it'd be nice if we could just fit everything into these 3 bins. We'll use the container concept. So if I can get them apart. Okay. So maybe one should be like trucks and like this kind of stuff into one. This we don't really play with, but it's just more of a sentimental thing to keep, right?
Well, we can put it in the closet because it was in there for a while.
Okay. Yeah, I don't think it needs to go into your bins. Okay. Good work. So we have everything into these 3 bins. And they're not even stuffed full, so you have more room to add new stuff to them. Does that seem good? Okay. Anything you're worried about or sad about or no? We did okay? Awesome. Your guys' room is going to feel so good. So I was really impressed. They went so far, and I think too, they wanted to protect the piece that they were filling in this room. They really liked how it felt with all of this stuff out of here. Now I could tell Gage missed a few of his things, so I was glad we could pick out the true favorites to put back in, but otherwise the rest of it was staying out. Just so you know, that's not all of their stuff. So they have Legos that live under the coffee table, and then they each have a shelf in this cabinet over here that has more treasures in it as well. And Gage's treasure bins are in there. So again, if you have kiddos that are like super attached to things, which is great, they come in all shapes and sizes, right? Treasure bins are just, I know I've talked about them before, but so many questions come up about them. Treasure bins are the way to go. It just gives them a home for it. We use the container concept. We only keep what comfortably fits in there. We go through it every once in a while. So Andrea says, treasure box and memory bin, let my son getting started. Now 2 years and he declutters without asking him. Yes, Andrea, that is awesome. Okay, and now, just in case you're saying like, but Dawn, my kids are not that reasonable, right? I'm gonna show you some containers that we can use that are such helpful tools. And remember, we didn't get here overnight. So we've called ourselves minimalists for over 8 years now. And this is something we routinely do with the kids. I'll link to other videos where we've gone through the room and gone through their clothes and all of that kind of stuff as well. But there are tools that we can use. So if your child is super attached to everything, then we have the treasure bin. Now this is different than their memory bin. So for each person in your family, we want to have a memory bin, and that's where we put the most special of special things. So this is Gage's. This is the blanket my mom crocheted for him when he was a baby. This is a piano certificate he got recently. This was an outfit he wore all the time when he was a newborn. We have the little tie he wore for Easter, right? So all of the most special things, what he wore home from the hospital, those are in his memory bin. And pretty much I curate this, but the kids can also put some super special things in here. Now the treasure bin is different. Gage can put whatever little trinkets, treasures, crafts, wrappers, anything he's attached to can go in here. So let me show you just like some of the randomness that accumulates, like extra material that he didn't want to throw away. Empty gum wrapper was special for a reason. A little drawing of a car. What else is in here? Keychain. Rocks, lots of rocks. Glasses, I don't know where those are from. But it is just legit, like I don't even know what a lot of this stuff is, but it has a home now, right? So that is the treasure bin. He can put whatever he wants in there. He actually has 2 of them because he is so attached to things. I actually just found 2. When I was making his bed, he had like the little jar from the syrup from the Cracker Barrel like next to his bed. I'll put that into his treasure bin for him. And so he can keep whatever fits in here. The only rule is that the lid has to fit on. So anytime it starts to get too full, then we go through it, make a little more room, and then he can fit more treasures. But the good thing is that by the time this gets full, usually there's stuff on the bottom that he's kind of forgotten about and he's not as attached to anymore. So we can always find stuff usually down there to let go. But I want my kids to learn how to manage inventory while they are in our home. So this is super helpful. What I tell them is that you can keep any treasures that you want. Anything that is super special, you can keep it as long as it fits in the bin. And this has worked well. Again, we practice it, but it's really not a big deal now when they start to get too full and we have to go through them. Now, lastly, we have the time will tell bin. So maybe you go through this process and it's really good, but there's still extra stuff your kids, you know, they're not using, but they're not quite ready to get rid of. So I packed up this time will tell bin, I think last fall. We were making a pass through the room in our mentorship group again, and I just put a bunch of stuff in here. So it's a lot of clothes, miscellaneous toys, hat, there was some artwork in here, like that kind of stuff. Magazines that they like to keep. It was just a fast, like, there's way too much stuff in this room and we need to get it out of here. So I just came in, I packed a bunch of stuff that I didn't think he would miss and put it in here. And again, with the understanding that if he came to me and he was like, Mom, where's my Lego book for the John Deere tractor, right? I'd have been like, oh, I know where it is. It's in a bin. I'm going to go grab it quick. He never asked for a single thing out of here. So now, like I said, this is many months old now. So I look at it all like it has been time tested, and now all of it can get donated or thrown away. I mean, there might be a thing or two, even like these jeans and stuff are too small. I'll go through it real fast. But again, it's been time tested. We haven't missed anything in here. I had completely forgotten what was in here. So my mindset is that all of this stuff can go unless there's something super special, but I wouldn't put something super special in here. Like, that's just not how I use a time will tell bin. So it's been time tested. We haven't missed any of it. And now after it's been set aside for a little bit, all of the stuff can go. So these tools are super helpful. Definitely make sure you have a memory bin for every person in your household. And if you have kids that are super sentimental, the treasure bins are really helpful as well. Now, we also needed to go through their clothes. But again, since we keep their clothes really simplified, it actually didn't take that long. And here is that process. So this is their bin of stuff of off-season or stuff to grow into. So like if Corbin has hand-me-downs to Gage, they go in there. If we get hand-me-downs from someone else, if I go to a thrift store, or off-season stuff, all goes in there. What I think is really helpful is to have numbers. So to say like 5 pairs of pants, 5 pairs of shorts, 5 t-shirts, 2 long sleeve sweatshirts, something like that. Even we wouldn't need 5 pairs of pants probably going into summer, but having some kind of number. You could do 33, like Project 333, like let's try and not have more than 33 items, but I don't think these guys need that many. So let's try and keep it to 25 or under. What do you guys think? Can we do that? So let's put sweatshirts here, sweatshirts and long sleeve shirts, and then pants here. So we have 2 pairs of shorts. You have quite a few t-shirts there.
Yeah.
And actually this isn't too bad. You have 3 sweatshirts and 2 long sleeve shirts, 3 long sleeve shirts. That's probably fine just to keep out for now, huh? Mm-hmm. Do any of these pants not fit? And I don't know if we need all of these out anymore. I think we can retire these. These have really big, I know, but you don't need to wear those. Look at all these pants you have. Okay, pick a pair that we're not gonna, you don't wear all these. Especially
I'd rather wear this pair.
Really? We just got those.
We did?
Did we? We went to Goodwill? Okay, but I'll let you choose.
These are gauges.
No, they're not.
Yes.
They're size 10. That's you.
Okay.
I'm silly. How do you handle when to change seasons? It could be 70 or 30 here. Yeah, I know. I can like hear the wind outside. It's like miserable outside today. I pretty much always leave out long sleeve shirts and pants in Minnesota. You can never count on anything. We just add in shorts basically and some more t-shirts. So pull out their swim trunks. So we leave a variety of stuff out. But again, you only need like 2 sweatshirts in the summer, right? Like you don't need as many as you would in the winter. But what age do you think kids can start doing the decluttering themselves, or is it solely based on their personality? It has a lot to do with their personality. So I would say Adeline could declutter on her own and like go through her desk. Even, oh no, she had her desk all cleared off, but now she was doing watercolors. It looks like, I mean, at the age of 7 or 8, she was able to go through her stuff really level-headedly and know what she was using and whatnot. That was the earliest probably on their own. But then like Gage is 9 and he wouldn't be able to. Corbin's 11. Corbin does a good job now. And even when they go clean their room, he makes good decisions about things. And like he's kind of always decluttering if he's recognizing there's stuff that he's not using. So definitely depends on their age and personality. Okay, so that actually only took 9 minutes to switch it out. We do know that we need a couple pairs of shorts, like nice dress wear shorts for both of them. And then I think we'll be totally fine. Corbin might have 25 pieces, but I don't think, Gage, you don't by any means. So again, I do think it's really helpful if you pick a number. All right, well, thank you guys for helping, and you can go bring your bins back upstairs and put them in place. And we're all set. Awesome.
Oh, bin down.
And you hear me talking about our mentorship group from time to time. And what it is, it's just a safe place where we get to work together to declutter our homes. And so we do lots of live decluttering sessions. I've found that body doubling is one of the most effective techniques to help you get your house decluttered. And so it does cost a little bit. It's $15 per month. But if you want to multiply your time, if you need some accountability, if you struggle with motivation, if you have physical or time limitations, you might find it incredibly helpful. And do know it's for everyone. We have all stages of life represented in the group. Whether you're a young mom, an older mom, an empty nester, never had kids at all, you'll find all groups of women represented in there. And it is the kindest, most encouraging community on the internet. So if you need a little help decluttering, may I come alongside you? May we come alongside you and help you achieve your goals so much faster? I'll put details down in the description. Now, when we had first redone the boys' room, their clothespins were under their beds, but as they've gotten a little bit bigger, they didn't fit quite so well. So we pulled them out here, attached them to the wall so they can't flip forward, and this has been working really well. So we got everything fitting back in here very comfortably. I mean, the bins are nowhere near full, and I really like how that works. And then I also decided, I had these picture frames. I had thought we would use them on the gallery wall downstairs, and they were too small for that. And I thought, I have just the place. So I put them here, and I'm gonna let the boys pick out pictures to go in. They love having photos around and on the wall. And so I'm gonna let them pick out the photos that we put in there, but it's kind of fun to have this little gallery wall in their room now as well. Obviously, this still isn't a big room, and yes, eventually the boys are gonna outgrow it, but man, when we keep the inventory down, it works, it functions, it feels so good in here. It is like a night and day difference compared to how it was before. And so again, even if you have a small space that you're working with, remember, kids are not good at managing inventory. And so if we can keep the inventory really low, it gives them the space and the freedom to play and create and to use their imaginations. That's what they're made for, right? That's what they're best at, not managing all of this inventory. Also, I didn't touch on stuffed animals too much because that's generally not too big of an issue in our household. I know. We're very fortunate, but there are some good tactics for stuffed animals too. You've probably seen on Amazon, you can get those like beanbag chairs that you stuff with stuffed animals. You can also just get a hamper to put them in, or I also like those like triangle nets that you can put them in as well. Basically, we just need to find a way to contain them. And if your kids are still young, you might want to head this off at the pass. I love the rule that you can have as many stuffed animals on your bed as how old you are. So whatever your age is, you can have that many stuffed animals on your bed, and that can work pretty well too. There's a couple fun things we did when we first designed this room. I made a faux Roman shade that is still working perfectly, so we really like that. And then also I did the magic light, puck light trick too, by putting a wall sconce on this light on the wall and then just using the magic lights in there, and it has a little remote, so that's kind of fun too. So if you don't have wiring for wall sconces, it's totally okay if you want to make like a reading light or something like that by your child's bed. Best to do it when they're a little bit older though. All right, and then I can also link to the monster truck artwork in here. They still really like that a lot too, and they did not want to update that. They really like their new bedding too and the new sheets, so that's fun as well. Okay, well, I would highly encourage you to test this out. Try hushing a room in your own house. It feels so good. Like we just need a fresh start sometimes. And then I'll also link to that video where I hushed our kitchen as well, so you can see that in action too. But if you try it out, let me know how it goes. I love you. I hope you have a really good day, and I'll see you again soon.